Morning, folks. Going to be using shave cream from Proraso. This one here, red sandalwood scented, and going to be matching it up with the Proraso Aftershave Lotion here. And got it whipped up here with a Omega S brush. In other words, that knot is a synthetic knot. It's not the natural bristle boar. Got it whipped up here in a small wooden bowl here, smooth bottom. No grooves in this one. That's what it looks like. It's fairly wet, not quite drippy, but it's pretty close to being drippy. The shaver of the day. This was, I got this one here finally. It was suggested quite some time ago. Maybe I should give this one here a try. There we go. It's a RazoRock Lupo. It's the gold version. I think it comes in gold, black, and silver, I think are the colors. And you can kind of see that there's the print there for RazoRock and Lupo. I'm going to go ahead and it's made out of aluminum, so it weighs about an ounce. It's pretty lightweight. I want to show you what the rest of this razor looks like. It's shipped with derby blades. So that is what I'm going to be using in this particular razor. And you can kind of tell the post is fairly long. So if you were interested in using a razor saver, in other words, a little plastic or a nylon washer right there, you could do something like that. That's what it looks there on the inside, on the base plate. And this is the underside of the cap. Just to give you some kind of idea how this is going to look if you should try to use one of these. And I say this is my first time using this one here. It was suggested quite some time ago, and I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. And when I put it together, I just lay the blade in there like that, put the base plate in there, push down into the center, hold it in at the hands there, where the tabs would be. And that's what it looks like with a derby blade. Yeah, I came with a 5-pack sent with me. We're going to see how it works. Derby blades, some folks really like derby blades, some not so much. I find that in some razors they work just great, very surprising, because in other razors not so much. And it's just one of those kind of setups where the it just depends on what razor it is for me, whether it works well or not. So since it's shipped with derby blades, we're going to go ahead and think that, okay, well, it's probably, matched up with it and should work rather well. If it doesn't, I got plenty of other blades to be using anyway. I got a lot of derby blades also. Like I say, there are times, what's left of the pre-shave cube here, there are times that I use derby blades in some shavers and it just works wonderfully. I mean, just fantastic shaves. And then I will use it in some other razors and it's like, is this the same blade? You're looking at like, it's such a stark difference. It's kind of odd how all that works out. How is it could be so great in one, works so great in one razor and then not so much in another. Just has you scratching your head sometimes. But that's how some blades are with razors. It's kind of like a mild razor. You use a feather blade and everything goes just fine, and use a feather blade and another razor and not so much. Doesn't take very long to work up your lather with the pre-shaved cube. Just takes a quick moment. It doesn't take very long to rinse your hands off either. I know for some people that might be off-putting. That might be the upside of using a pre-shave oil. I do like the loft of these brushes. I have some these S brushes are pretty tough to find. You can find the natural bristle boar ones pretty easy, but finding the S brushes, you have to hunt a little bit more. Back when I got this one here, they were plentiful. Pretty easy to find back then. But I've had this one a while. I do like the loft. It's great for painting. All right, first time go, aluminum. See how it works out. I guess you might say the true test with this blade will be on the against the grain pass. Definitely you can feel the blade cutting through the whiskers, that's for sure. I don't find that quite an issue. But derby blades are pretty nice. I mean, like I say, in the right razor, they work well for me, and I do enjoy using them from time to time. But I don't put them in my top 5 just due to the fact they don't work in all my razors. But whenever I find them on sale on the cheap, I do go ahead and pick up some. In other words, I've got probably over 200 blades, so they're going to last me a good long moment. When you can get 100 for about $6, I think that was the cheapest. I found them a while back. It's kind of hard just to let them go. At that price, you got to pick them up. If you're going to be using them from time to time, they'll last you a good long moment that way. So far, the razor is working out pretty well. You can feel the blade cutting through the whiskers, but it's still relatively smooth. I have a link down below for this stuff if you're interested in checking it out. It wasn't a real expensive razor either. I think the overall length might be near, I think it might be near 4 inches. It might be 3.5, but I think it's closer to 4. I need to measure it one of these days. I think for a lot of folks it's the weight. Weighing in at an ounce, it's going to be pretty lightweight. Yeah, it handled it pretty well right through there, the trouble spots. Sometimes with the razor I can tell in the trouble spots on how well it's working out. It did pretty good. Still felt smooth, in other words. On the across the grain right through here, sometimes there'll be a little telltale sign that get ready for against the grain, because it might be a little rough through there. But this one here worked out pretty good through there, so that was my first clue it's going to work out all right. Shaving cream. In between the shaving cream and the tub, which one do I like? I like the tub. It seems to work out rather well for me. Nothing wrong with the shaving cream. It's just that it seems like I enjoy using the tub more so. But a shaving cream to me is a great thing to take with you when you're traveling. It's a little easier, perhaps, maybe, depending on how you look at it, to travel with shaving cream. And if you had to, since I'm a bowl lather, whip it up in your hand if you needed to. Has a little bit of feedback on the against the grain. The shaving cream for some folks might whip up a bit quicker and easier than maybe the tub. That seems to be about the norm. That shaving cream is a little easier to whip up a lather. That way you don't have to struggle with water quality where you're at. I have hard water here, so it's kind of hard to make it any more difficult than what it already is. I've already got accustomed to it. This might be considered a medium shaver. Not too sure. It might depend on the blade. I know it's pretty efficient. My face is really smooth. Yeah, it's pretty efficient. This is a pretty nice razor. There is a story down below. I say down below. There's a link down below, and take a moment if you want to. There's a story behind how I guess you might say this razor came about. I guess it's patterned after a somewhat more expensive razor. I think it was like in the neighborhood of $500. I'm not real familiar with the whole story. I mean, outside of what I read. So in other words, that razor, I have never heard of it before until this one here rolled out. $500 is just a wee bit out of my price range. Yeah, typically I don't look at razors that are that expensive. It's just kind of keep right on going. Especially when I have other razors that work so well. But this is a pretty good shave. This is yeah, that's pretty nice. It worked out well. Derby blade, Lupo, aluminum. Wow, that was pretty smooth. I mean, there's nothing left. See what the Alum blog has to say. So I think they did a good job pairing it up with the Derby. At least for me it did. It worked out rather well. Right there. Just a little bit of stinging right there, but that's the only spot I've got. I'm kind of glad I saved this for a Monday morning shave. It worked out great. All right. Got the witch hazel here. I got a link down below on Amazon for looking at a smaller version of this one here. If you're interested just to take a look at it or order it. Amazon was the easiest place for me to pull it up real quick. I know you can find this witch hazel in Walmart. It won't be with, I guess you might say, where the other witch hazel is at for some reason. And but typically you'll have to look somewhere else over there with the cosmetic stuff and whatnot, skincare. And I have seen it over there in the new, it has the new shape. These are, I guess you might say they're old ones. The other ones are like a round bottle looking type container. And I think they're running right around the $10 mark. So, and that's for the smaller version. So I've got plenty of this. It's going to last me a while. So you probably won't see the round bottle for a good long moment. I went ahead and bought as much as I could on the cheap ones, as many as I could find, I should say. Base feels wonderful. Aftershave Lotion. One of the things I keep on pointing out, I know, but there it is. You might be able to see right there that post coming out of the cap. Fits right down in that restrictor. Help keep everything inside. And I'm also assuming also keeps it fresh. I do like Proraso products. They work well for me. In other words, could be easily a daily driver without a problem for me. Sandalwood. My nose doesn't always pick up sandalwood. And it doesn't, how can you say, this morning my nose is working really well. This is probably the best I've ever smelt this. But typically my nose and sandalwood, you know, it might pick it up, it might not pick it up. So sandalwood's not one of those, I guess you might say, flavors that I buy a lot of or look for. I look for others that seem to work well with my nose. But this morning, I can really smell it this morning. It is great when the nose is working well. I had a great shave this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.